Hi guys, my name is Katerina and welcome to my channel. And in today's video I wanted to talk to you about my personal process of how I create my comic. Basically all the stages I go through, from just starting to think what the chapter is gonna be about and finishing with the complete chapter. So I hope it will help you with your own process. First of all, before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not in any way saying that this is the right process to do it. I'm just saying that it's my process, this is how I'm approaching it, and maybe it can be helpful for you to let you know where to start or how other artists might be doing it. Also, if you're interested to look at my comic, you can find it under thebookofcontradictions.com. This is where you can read it for free. I release one page per week, and if you wanna get more recent updates and get access to, additional materials, backgrounds, my sketches, all the insider information, you can follow me on Patreon. It's just $1 per month and you can get access to all of this. And also shout out to my already existing patrons. Just because of them, I'm able to continue my comic the way I do, and because of them, I started this YouTube video because I felt a little bit brave, let's just say. Now to the topic of this video. How exactly I'm working on my comic. So I will be talking about how I do specifically that chapter. And I start my chapter with the script with quotation marks because it's not a legit script by any point. It's a very low-key, very unprofessional script for just myself to know what is happening in the chapter. There is different scripts that I have. First of all, I have the overall outline of the whole story, and I have outline for volume 1, or would be like arc 1 of my comic. My comic was originally a novel and it was planned to be a series of 3 novels, so I have corresponding 3 arcs in the whole story that would be, I guess, the books within the trilogy. The major outline that I have is just for the whole series. I have key points of what's supposed to be happening, and also I kind of have a cheat situation because I have 2 of my books, 2 novels out of the whole trilogy written. I kind of have materials to work with. However, I just want to say that I'm actually changing the story quite a bit from what it was originally, because that story was way younger and the story that I'm writing now is for older audience, and I'm changing quite a lot. The main points might be the same, but a lot of the story is changed, so I kind of have to rewrite it in a way. What I'm doing, I have this big document in which I basically have chapter by chapter description of what's supposed to happen throughout the arc. And we're talking about the first arc corresponding to first book in the trilogy, the first volume of the comic. I just have a lot of pages there, and I have just, for example, title saying chapter 1, and I'm describing what's supposed to be happening in chapter 1. Then I have title chapter 2, and I'm describing in a lot of details what's supposed to be happening in chapter 2, and so on. I don't have as much information on what's supposed to happen in the end. I'm more of a discovery writer. Even though I have an outline, I just like to go where the story takes me, and then I go and adjust my outline accordingly. So for example, if I realize this is the direction I want to go a little bit, and my brain kind of recalculates the all points where the story is supposed to go, and then recalculates the climax of the story, and I just update my outline accordingly. And actually, because of this, I have several versions of my outline. I think now I'm on version 9. I just version up and continue going, and if something got cancels, I come to the previous version and we continue. And then as I'm approaching the chapter, I already have some sort of information that I want to put in the specific chapter. I will just copy whatever I have in my pages document and just move it to notes. It's basically notes on my phone. In there, I will use this as a base, and usually it will have points like this supposed to happen, we're supposed to find out this, or this character is supposed to have this conversation, or something like this. So all this like bullet points of what's supposed to be happening. It helps me kind of to connect the story that happened before and the story that will happen next. And then I'm creating basically very raw dialogues with some action lines. I would say location this and this character is talking to this and this, and then I would just create dialogue, just conversation, and just one person then this, then this, then this. Not do any formatting, first because I don't know how to do it, second because I don't need it really, and I just basically press enter, and that means next person is talking. It's a very chill script, I would say. I'm not sure it's even legal to use the word script describing the situation. Basically in the end, I will end up with a notes file that will have all my dialogues. When I have this, I can be changing this also. I have this type of rule. I work in stages, so when I move to the next stage, I stop working on the previous stage and I'm not altering or editing it anymore. Well, before I start outlining, my script is a dynamic situation. I edit it, I might change words of dialogue, I can change something that is happening, but when I think it's complete and then I go to the lines, I generally don't edit it anymore. To me, it's like this step is complete, we go to the next step. You got your chances. You were supposed to do this in this stage. If you didn't do it, do. Of course, if it's like a better wording, I will absolutely do it, but mostly I have this rule, try not to go back to the stage that you did before and edit it, because I really can't do it, because if, for example, I'm starting outlining, then I start drawing, then if I go back and change the script, I have to re-outline, redraw, I just can't afford it. When I feel the moment is coming when I need to start drawing, I have this feeling like it's gonna be the final version now, you better make it count. In the comic you put a lot of more work afterwards, and you can't really keep redoing it, and I did redo it. I had a couple situations and a couple chapters when I had to redraw something. I will make a whole video about this, but I try to avoid as much as I can. After the script is done, then I go to outline process. I don't know if the outline is correct way to say it, but basically what I'm doing, I am scattering all these lines of dialogue throughout empty pages. And this is how I generate the first pass of pages, just a volume of Photoshop documents in the folder that already have the dialogue scattered, so I know what's supposed to be happening roughly there, what's supposed to be said, what's the vibe, how much information this page is gonna have. After this is done, I go and create very raw first pass of drawing, and when I mean raw, I mean I'm gonna just show you. It's very rough. It's like it's incomprehensible. You might be asking, is this person like even knows how to draw? I doubt it. So yeah, this is the one. It's basically I'm just very vaguely like putting couple lines to give myself an idea what I want to do with this page, how many panels I want to have, what emotions I want to show there, what is kind of happening. I might draw more there, I might draw less there. Depends. For example, if it's very important for me to remind myself what exactly I'm trying to do with this page, I'm gonna draw a little more. If I kind of get the idea, I'll do it. Sometimes it's like literally 2-3 lines. I'm like, well, you get it what's gonna happen there. So after this pass is done, and sometimes it's not done completely, sometimes I'm still going through the whole chapter, and then I'm starting with my next step in the beginning of the chapter. The next step is me actually going and creating proper line and looking like an artist that can do something. So proper lines, better lines that make sense, and that I need to go to my next process, which is colors. I'm already also being very strict where the panels are, what the composition is. Sometimes I even place text bubbles in the correct space. I'm already deciding where the text is gonna go. Sometimes I still would skip detailization on some pages. I would just leave also 3 lines. For example, if it's just a background, if it's just, for example, landscape, or if it's something that I'm not sure how to draw yet, sometimes I will just try to find what it is with just colors. And after this is done, I go and break it mentally for myself, scene by scene. I'm kind of grouping everything that is happening there in a scene level. It's very important for me because for colors, I will be preparing different materials for each scene accordingly, and I will be draw scenes rather than pages. I will not be going in chronological order. I will just pick up the scene and then will randomly draw on pages within the scene, and when the scene is complete, I'm gonna jump to the next scene. When I'm starting, I usually I'm starting scene-wise, I'm starting in chronological order. The first scene that is happening, I will start preparing my material. I will gather reference and I will create a reference board. I will put all my reference together, reference for the character skin, for the character hair, the character eye, the location reference, everything. I will put them all together. I will color correct them all together accordingly, so I have this ready. Then, for example, I want some special effect, like for example glow or lens flare or something like this. I will find the element, I will also have it ready, and then I will analyze what I have in the scene, and I will analyze the background. And as I'm analyzing this, I'm realizing what backgrounds I need to cover the whole scene. Maybe it's just one strip of the background, maybe it's just 2 sides, north for example and west, or maybe it's all 4 sides, or maybe I also need sky and I maybe like real above, and maybe I also need ground, like for example I have top-down shot. I will decide this and I will start drawing background. I will start drawing it from the panel that has the most exposure of this background. I kind of outline it compositionally because it will have the most details of this background, and for example thinking that other panels will have more close-up, and then I will extract it to the separate layer and basically start working on this background and prepare it. Make sure it's ready to go, and then I will do the same work with all the backgrounds. And once it's done, I'm ready to go in color work. I'll open random page that I want to start within this scene, and I will put all my backgrounds. I will do all the compositional line. This is where I will completely do my bubbles. I will draw them. I will draw the dividing lines between the panels. This is where I would put all the backgrounds accordingly, apply all the lens flares or whatever elements I want as well there, position it, and I will start painting. Usually I just put base color underneath the line layer for my characters, and I create this base color, and after this I will jump a layer above everything just between bubbles and effects like lens flares, and start drawing. And this way I just jump between the pages and I slowly fill in everything I need to draw within the scene, and then I go to another scene and then repeat. So this is basically my process, and this is slowly how the chapter is getting done, in a sense of how I'm working from chapter to chapter. Usually as I'm painting and I'm putting colors on one chapter, I will be already writing the script for the next chapter, and by the time I kind of like halfway done through the chapter that I'm currently painting, this is where I would start rough outline and sketch outline of the next chapter. And usually when I have 7 to 6 pages till the end of the chapter I'm currently working on, this is where I go and do the clean lines with the next chapter. So then I can, without interruption, jump from painting to painting, because I kind of want to have this all almost happening at the same time, drawing wise, because I don't want to do just colors and then go to the lines, spend some time in the lines, and then go back to colors, because I can tell that my color drawing efficiency goes a little down if I'm having a long break from drawing colors, like rendering full complete pages. So I'm trying to make sure I'm doing everything at the same time, so there is no break between me doing colors, because this is how I can go to the next chapter right away and just keep drawing as fast as I normally do. So I hope it makes sense. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope this video can be helpful for you, and let me know what are your process that you have, and let me know if this video was of any use. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow, and all good days until my next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Thank you guys.